folks. Hi. This is Sty North, of course. Here I am, out at the beaver pond. You know, I can't be out and about without stopping at the beaver pond. Have to stop there. I've said it often enough. I just love it out here. I never know what I'm going to run into when I'm out at the pond. And I thought, well, I had done a video earlier today about bear encounters, just a short little one, just some pointers. Then I did a sty story that was a follow-up to an earlier one. And I got out here at the pond and I thought, oh, what the heck, what else have I got to do? I don't have to get back home for another hour yet. And I wish I didn't have to get back home at all if I was, you know, I've got the gear with me. I wish I could just pitch up a little shelter right over here on some nice high ground looking out over the pond. This is a perfect time of year to set up a shelter here and watch the pond. It would be just wonderful to spend a couple days plopped right there, but still got a lot of spring chores to take care of before camp season. You know, we open our camp on May 1st, and we have immersion camps the end of April this month, but those camps are not very involved, and they actually don't involve the main camp area. So yeah, I gotta get things ready for May for the camp season. So I can't just be out here playing every day. Wish I could. So I thought, well, what the heck? I'm out here. I might as well do another sty story. This one's a little unusual. It's kind of a survival story. However, it's not a person that was so good at survival. I'm going to call this one, "And the Cat Came Back." When I moved my family up in the backcountry, now mind you, it was about 8 miles from town to where our cabin was, way up in the backcountry. And I'm just listening because the birds are raising a lot of ruckus, so something's disturbing them off just a short distance from here. But anyway, so when we moved from town up into the backcountry, well, we had a cat. The kids had a cat. He was kind of a big cat. He was a tomcat. He was a big fellow, black and white. They named him Beef. And Beef, he was born in town. We had him for a year in town, so he knew town. And then all of a sudden we pack everything up, we move up into the backcountry, and we brought Beef with us. We brought Beef with us, and we had 3 dogs at the time. And the dogs settled in just fine. They knew that was their new home. So, yeah, that was good. Well, we weren't there 2-3 days, and Beef disappeared. Well, the kids, of course, were all upset. And I told the kids, I said, well, that's one of my concerns, that maybe a fisher got him, or an eagle got him, or a coyote got him. There's a lot of things out there that would love to eat Beef. So my kids were pretty upset, you know, that Beef was gone. About a week and a half, 2 weeks went by. Also, we hear this meowing outside the cabin. Went and checked on it, and there's Beef. And I thought, well, now where the heck has he been? He's been gone for over a week and a half. How could he have made it out here? He wasn't home to eat, but he was back. So we thought, yeah, check that out. The cat came back. Well, then a few days went by, and Beef disappeared again. And I said, this time I think something got him. I'm pretty sure. Because I think he learned that he shouldn't be wandering around out there in the wilderness by himself. He's a domestic cat. Now, almost 3 weeks went by. And I thought, well, I hope those kids don't ask for another cat. And all of a sudden, I'm outside doing something, and here comes Beef. He comes walking up to the cabin. And I'm like, well, now where in the world has he been? Well, it wasn't but a few days later. I was down in town. I was at the local restaurant with the fellas, having coffee and catching up on things. And I told them, I said, some weird things have been happening since we moved up there in the backcountry. And one of the fellas said, hey, before you tell us your stories about weird things happening in the backcountry, I got a question. Did you give that black and white cat of yours to somebody in the neighborhood where your old house was? And I said, no, we took him with up on the mountain. And he said, well, that can't be. I said, well, no, we did. We took him up there. I said, he disappeared, though. And then he came back a week and a half later, and then he disappeared again, and he didn't come back for almost 3 weeks. And he said, well, that's because he's down here in town. I said, what do you mean he's down here in town? He says, well, I just seen him this morning. He said, he was hanging around outside your old house. I said, no way. There's no way. He says, yeah, I'm telling you the truth. So I drove over there, and there's our cat. There's Beef. I didn't realize he had left again. But there he is. He's in town at the old house. Excuse me. He come running right up to me. I picked him up. I said, you're goofy. Threw him in the pickup truck and took him home. Well, he made about 4 or 5 trips down to town while we lived up there in the backcountry. All by himself, 8 miles each direction, through some of the most rugged mountain wilderness you could find out there. And that crazy cat survived. How he did it, nobody knows. Everybody said it's impossible, but it's a fact. I can't believe that Beef was able to do that on his own. It just goes to show the cat came back. So there you go. There's a Sty story for you. Thanks for watching us. Hey, we'd like to see you out here at Camp Wilderness Thriving Fundamentals. Wouldn't it be nice to come out here and sit around and tell some tales together out here by the pond? Learn a few skills while you're here? We'd love to have you. Jim and Rory say hi, folks. And Sty says, you all have a nice day.